All right, I guess I will bust right into this.
Welcome.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Motherfucker. Welcome back to the
Welcome back to the 1919 podcast.
Welcome back to the Natty 19 podcast. I'm Jonathan Marshall, and I'm with Charlie, Swain, Kayway, and Christy. And together, we've been bringing the D&D to you in the form of this Tomb of Annihilation adventure. Tonight, we are bringing in episode 83. But before we get into it, if you're able to, please head over to iTunes, leave us a review. Also, check out our Patreon. We've got various support tiers available, including custom crafted dice bags created by our very own Christy Lee. We've got some Natty 19 tokens designed by Charlie, some pretty cool things, and even more to come here as well. We've been working on a few secret side projects that will be available on Patreon first, before we eventually will release it to the public, because we don't want to really keep anything locked behind a paywall.
Right, yeah.
You know,
eventually, we'd like all of our content to not be behind the paywall. So we're looking into various rewards for the Patreon supporters, as well as giving them early access.
Yes, yep. That seems to make the most sense for us. Those guys got to get something for supporting us as well. So we're just trying to work it out the best way where it's fair for everybody. So even then that might change, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, let's get into this. Start the music. Episode 83 of the Natty 19 podcast. Recap. So,
what time is it? Recap time.
Last episode, you explored some more of level 2 of the Tomb of Annihilation. We've been down in this place. Time is starting. We're still keeping track of it, but I'm going to start doing it a little more loose, and I'm actually going to start to slowly steer it over to you guys to keep track of, because I want there to be some level of simulated authenticity. So if you guys...
He just wants to do less work.
No, it's not that at all.
I could see how a party might lose track of time.
Being in a tomb,
Mm.
exactly. And I want to see, it's more of an experiment. I want to see how this goes, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Also,
I don't know,
what's up?
I was going to say, I have a feeling you leave that to us. We're all going to be suffering fucking from exhaustion here shortly. It's been 3 days before you get sense.
No, you guys. No, it'll be the opposite. Like, but we just took a full rest. Yeah, but I need another one. Next thing you know, a week went by. Yeah, three fights.
We keep hitting these combats like that. That's exactly how it's going to be. Nap.
Nap time. So you entered the main hall with the balconies. You looked down and you were able to see several gargoyles resting atop pillars. I think there were 4 of them down there. Clearly a puzzle of sorts. You were looking at, there was various styles of squares and all that shit. But anyway, you didn't end up going down there. You ended up backtracking through the spiral staircase room. Copernicus cautiously opens the door to reveal yet another alchemical laboratory.
Eddie said it correctly.
Also doubling as an office of sorts. Remember, there was that desk with the tall-backed chair, and in the chair, a robed undead Omuan was there to greet you, surrounded by animated severed hands.
Several severed hands.
Dialogue ensued. He tells you a bit of his story. He, among many other Omuans, were enslaved by a Sararak and forced to build this very tomb. He appeared fanatical, or at least honored to have been chosen amongst so many to fill the role that he's playing. While the dialogue was happening, Irame, right off the bat, begins to cast a little spell called Magic Circle, which I'm probably going to nerf after this. She casted Magic Circle while you guys attempted to cover the verbal and somatic parts of her spell. You succeeded the first half of the dialogue. He pressed about the current affairs of Chult, while Svitlangi and Copernicus offered advice about his Tomb Guardian design. And just before Irame could finish the incantation, he discovers the ruse, and the hands take formation around him, and a fight breaks out. From there, hack slash tickle tickle. This is the layout.
I was going to say this boss kind of tickles me.
Let's not forget my well-placed counterspell.
That's right, yeah.
I think we should give this boss a hand.
Top of round 3. So Irame, we left off with Irame being up. Let me give you a quick layout of this fight. Let me share the map to those who don't have it already. Clicky, clicky. Boom. So here we are. We have got this, within this alchemical lab, we've got Svitlangi right inside the doorway. I guess it's safe to say she's taking it up the rear. To the south of her, one square, you've got Zavril, Dawn Tracker, somewhat surrounded here by a fistful of fists.
Yep.
Textbook
What
surrounded.
do you call a group of hands?
An applause? I don't know. Irame, so Svitlangi's got Zavril to the south of her, Irame to the west. Now, Irame, I must say, she's got a hand in melee. She's got, I don't know if we've officially brought this guy's name out to the table, but she's got the boss right between her and Copernicus. They're kind of sandwiching this guy. And just adjacent to the south of the boss, Svitlangi's spiritual scimitar, the weapon of her ancestors, floating about, pissing me off here and there. And that's the layout, guys. We've got, so for enemies, we got 3 hands left, pretty much all focused around Zavril right now. One could still turn and look at Svitlangi or Irame, but they're probably not because Zavril's got really low armor class. They picked that out.
Yep.
They're going to tear his ass asunder. So let's, now that we've got this battlefield lined up.
I want to see somebody lose a hand and then have one of these hands sewed where their hand used to be.
Ew.
Would they always be arguing with it?
Yes.
It'd be a chaotic situation, man. That thing would always be coming at you when you're asleep.
Yeah, I can't help but think of Evil
You'd have to
Dead.
tie it down.
Yeah.
Evil Dead.
What's
Yeah.
what's the idle hands? Are the devil's what is
Plaything.
it? Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Top of round 3. Start the combat music. Irame, what do you got?
Do not forget, a bless is in effect.
Bless is in effect. The boss got Slayer's Prey on him. Yeah.
Did we get any information about the boss? Did that happen? I missed that in the. No, just that we know he's undead.
As far as weaknesses or anything like that.
I didn't know if
Oh, Zaves.
Zaves did his thing or not.
We are drinking Slovenian coffee tonight, courtesy of Kiker.
I don't even want to know. What's
Yummy.
Kuiper?
Kiker's, so his name's actually Gregory Kiker. He's a friend of mine from college. He comes to the States every couple years with his wife, and they usually make a pit stop here for a night or two.
His wife, Nadia.
Yeah.
Lovely couple.
Nadja.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for the coffee. It is delectable, to say the least. So, Irame, what do you got?
Irame's playing it safe. She likes the fire. She's going to stick with that.
All right.
She's too nervous that something else won't work. She's going to cast Chromatic Orb. Maybe do it at 2nd level.
Does that have a verbal component?
Yeah.
Let's hear your elven incantation.
My elven incantation. For fire. I used to know the Latin word for fire. That would be useful right now.
Come on, break it out.
Can't remember it.
Isn't like the
Nah.
Greek word pi?
When all else fails, go to legend. Let's hear it.
So Irme is going to my new favorite thing she does. She's going to snap her fingers, and she's going to be holding a fire orb in her hand. Higher, higher, burning fire, making music like a choir.
Yeah.
And she's going to toss a chromatic orb at Mr. Withers here. What's his name? Do we know his actual
The
name?
boss.
The boss.
F.A.
Bill Withers.
Are you with us or against us?
18. Oh, wait, I have to roll to hit. I'm such a fucking idiot right now.
Plus 1d4.
That's a natty 20. 29?
Damn,
Guess you didn't need my bless.
that is gonna
I'll
hit,
still take it.
ladies and
Let's
gents.
see how high it goes.
I'll just stick with the 18. Is that okay to do, or do I have to re-roll damage if I roll damage first?
No, that's fine.
Okay, so 18 fire damage.
Right, it wouldn't be any different than if you rolled the damage die with the to hit die.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a whole bunch of damage die right now and wait
just
till I
save
get a
'em up.
super high roll.
You have to at least announce what spell you're doing first.
Okay.
Because that's all that matters to me. It's not, you know, you can't just roll damage die and then choose which. Well, I guess you could. I don't care.
I don't really care.
Because the
just make
damage
up
die
your own
define
rules.
the spell. Right. Because
Slovenian coffee really relaxes.
everybody levels up, by the way. Thanks, Kiker.
I'm feeling pretty good about this mission.
So
I can see things no one else can see.
They're back in Slovenia now,
We're in the
laughing.
spirit world, man.
They're back in Slovenia now, laughing. You think they tried the coffee yet?
You guys see the size of that chicken?
There's Slovenian mushrooms.
We're in the spirit world, man. They can't see us.
We're in the spirit
Yeah.
world, asshole.
Can't see us. Oh,
You
shit.
saw a dog, didn't you?
All right, so what
Anyway,
happens?
those
What
are
happens
both
to the
very
boss?
good movies.
Oh,
by the way.
Irme, your summon mote of fire is hurled with grace. Actually, oh yeah, and I was gonna say the spell range attack is that at a disadvantage, but I don't think we've been doing
Oh,
I guess it
probably
could be.
should be.
Yeah, I could do it now.
that. It's all right. I don't think
Still
we've
has
been
the
playing that
bless,
way. I think
too.
it's a spell.
If it's ranged,
different.
right? It might be different if it's a spell, but
Right. I think we looked this up in
still
episode
get
2.
the D4.
I think we first looked it up in the Ankylosaurus fight with the magic stones. Copernicus was demoing or something. Anyway, so yeah, you hurl your fiery mote. It slams against him for 18 points of damage. Seems to go through that magic circle with ease, I believe. Yeah, and it hits him. 18 points of damage. Da-da-da-da. Irme just went through a mote of fire, smashed Withers with it, bloodies the bastard. Next up, Crawling Claw number 2, which is the one all the way to the south, adjacent only to the one and only Zavril Dawn Tracker. You, my friend, are getting the brunt of a Gnashy Claw.
It's gonna give me a hang now.
All right, and here
You're in
we
for
go.
a spanking.
Rolling to attack with a claw.
It's a hit.
That's
Wait,
going to be
no,
a natty 4.
It's a miss.
This is I've been rolling terrible with these claws. Secondly, the claw that's adjacent. Oh, he's got three targets before him. So let's go ahead and roll a d6 to figure out what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Zavril,
You are lucking out.
you are a lucky bastard right now.
You're gonna get all of them.
I mean, if he keeps rolling 4s, I'm good.
Natty 6 again. No, natty 6. Plus 3, that's 9. Miss. Wow, so these things are just jumping all over the place. They're trying to get you, but they just can't. They can't do it.
Brushing
Where I
on the
can't
side.
hit them either.
And it looks like you've got another one. attacking you. Because next up is Crawling Claw number 6. Here we go. Give me something good. Natty
let him
6
hit me.
again.
Really?
I want to see a Three Stooges eye poke. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I can't seem to roll above a 6 right now. Let's get them all out of the way right now. Zavril, what do you got? It's your turn. You had 3 claws bouncing all over you. At this point, it's just fucking fun and games. What do you do?
All right. I'm going after claw number 2, the one to my south.
The one directly south of you is claw 6.
Oh,
Right.
I'll go
You
after
care,
claw
just
6.
don't
Have
worry
that
about
one.
the numbers. The listeners don't care about what number they are.
Yep, the one to my south.
Oh, he rolled even
You guys
worse.
are terrible at this game.
You guys need to take a dice rolling
And I get
class.
a 1d4.
Yeah, you get a 1d4 to add to that.
Max.
Armor class 12.
Oh.
That's a miss.
Oh.
That's a
All right.
miss. So Zavril and the hands are just missing each other. What's your second attack look like?
Zavril in the
Not
hands.
even-
It's
not
our
even.
new band.
Right. Their string band.
Armor class 13.
13 is a miss, my friend.
They're going to have a misconnections ad on Craigslist.
All
Yeah,
right, and my bonus attack with my offhand. Let's do this.
All right. There it is.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
I know.
Armor
28.
class
Doing this for
28.
83 episodes.
Armor class 28.
Yeah, the only thing he can rely on right now is the D4.
That's a hit, buddy.
Oh, I hit. Let's do this.
Finally, we have a hit on the show.
7 damage.
7.
Slashing. Normal.
Wow. Okay.
It explodes. No.
It probably
That
doesn't
was
even kill it.
that was actually a freshie.
They're all fresh. I haven't hit a single one yet.
Fresh hands.
They only have 2 hit points. I forgot about that. I went to put 7 wounds, and it's like, nope, 2. I'm like, I didn't hit 2. I hit 7.
I am hitting 7.
Yeah. All
Quick,
right.
Throw out some cheesy AoE that does a little tiny bit
So
of
it
damage.
does explode them.
Yeah, boom. Finally, you hit it. All you got to
Did you hit it
do,
with a whip?
apparently, is
Kick
hit
it.
these things once and they break.
You
So
can kick it.
Oh, you could lash with the whips. Will gash somebody.
it'll gash a fucking somebody. So let's
Yeah, you
Get-
see.
I took a
backs
finger
off it.
right off of that.
fit. Are you gonna move at all, Zaves, and provoke?
No, I'm staying in the corner.
Okay. Next up, Svitlangi. You got a spirit weapon out. I don't know if you want to resolve that first.
Yeah, let's resolve the spiritual weapon.
All right. The spiritual weapon has 3 targets within its.
That will be a 17
On-
to attack the big boss.
17 on the boss is. That's going to be a hit.
All right, it's only going to be a D8 plus my. So 5 points of damage.
And did we decide it's force damage?
Yes, it is force damage.
All right, here we go. So he's still bloodied. So yeah, your scimitar is floating along. Gets in a good hit.
All right, and I do want to pull the little tiny. Actually, no, there's no
pull its
material. Yeah, I'm gonna pull a finger. I am going to go back to the classic Toll of the Dead, and so I will mutter the ancient words to Seth, and I am going to point my finger at the boss, and he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Here we go.
I figure I asked Irame to do an incantation. It was only fair, right?
That's good, though.
I was waiting for her to.
No, I'm
Come
not an
at me.
asshole.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we have audio
Maybe since you
proof.
quit drinking beer for one day.
Wisdom saving throw. That's going to be a 13.
13
Yeah, what's the
is
DC?
that's the DC exactly.
Oh.
Damn, we need a Bane out here.
Well, he's in the circle. Does that do something? No.
Oh.
That just gives him a disadvantage on attacks. All right. Well,
And she'll maintain her physical position.
you guys hear in the distance a toll of the dead. And then it fades away again. You begin to wonder if this thing will ever do anything beneficial.
If I can goddamn hit with it, it'll do 2d12.
I don't know. That spell's fucking awesome, though.
It
Copernicus.
is.
Copernicus Hart, you're up.
All right, in classic Cappy form, he's going to hop up on the table behind this guy and overhand swing De Nocturne around and try to open his head up like a watermelon. Ooh, that's a natty 19.
Oh, this might be the end, boys and girls. Holy shit.
You do like to get on tables.
I do.
This might.
You know, didn't you end the last last time we were here with the natty 19 as well?
I don't know.
Somebody did, I remember. I can't
We've had
remember
a
if it was
lot.
Christy or...
Ever since it was mentioned that we haven't had one in a while, like everyone's hit one.
I haven't.
didn't.
I think they've all been you.
It's just you and
It's
Chris.
you,
Oh,
yeah.
well, me and Chris here
Copernicus and
kicking
Aaron,
ass.
yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of attack?
Magic slashing.
So this
Short
was a
sword.
melee.
Yep.
Roll. Give me a 20-sided die.
All right. Ooh, that is a 12.
A 12. Minor artery, double damage, and they take 2 bleed per round for 1d6 rounds. Although, if he's undead, what does that mean?
Well, let's get the double damage. Double damage is 2 die, right?
2 die. You roll the damage die twice.
Okay.
Maybe we just are happy with the double damage.
9 and 8. 17
It's probably going to
magic
kill him.
slashing.
It's probably going to kill him, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 12 hit points left, guys.
Oh, and by the way, like there is a Patreon tier where you could submit critical effects,
Oh, cool. Yes, I forgot about
Oh,
that.
that's neat.
crits, failures, and even wild magic effects for our beloved Airmay.
I split this dude's head open like a watermelon. What comes out?
Tentacles.
Yes.
It gets worse. It's worse.
Like Dracula in Castlevania.
Yeah, Copernicus leaps up on the table. Bottles smash everywhere. Comes down with De Nocturne. Slow motion as the head gets completely severed. The body crumbles to the floor. Shortly after, the spinning head falls after it. The remaining hands cease moving.
Oh, I was wondering.
They kind of like flip upside down like a spider would, and their fingers just kind of curl up. Very spider-like, because that's how I picture it.
Irame gets little chunks of withers on her, and when the body falls, she just sees Copernicus standing on the table.
Copernicus, you look at Irame, where the black, decayed blood sprays across her face onto her glasses.
And Copernicus is smiling from ear to ear. And it's like his teeth are almost like fang ear. You know, like they're not his teeth, like Wongo's teeth almost.
Yeah, and you see a
It's like
little
a
flicker of red in his eyes, just like the Sioux monster hanging in the tomb there.
Svitlongi is really interested in that skull. What was it? A medallion? The chest
Oh,
piece?
yeah, I forgot about that. It was the Black Skull Medallion, I think it was called.
And he was wearing a mask.
He was wearing
too,
a
right?
mask.
Yeah, I want the mask.
The mask is held on by a black strap tight around his head. Almost, and it looks like it's been there for fucking decades. The
You're going to put that on after some undead asshole's been wearing it?
Yeah.
The strap is
Yeah.
actually sunken into the flesh, so the flesh is actually kind of folded over the strap a bit. That's how long it's been on.
Right.
I'm glad Quincy isn't here to see that. He'll lose a little bit of respect for Zabro.
Yeah, let's toss the room.
While people begin to toss the room, Irame is going to remove her glasses and clean the withers off of it with the end of her shirt.
Okay, tossing the room. This is what you find. Okay, so first off, the amulet, with a little effort, you're able to free the medallion from the torso, the decapitated torso. And you guys, while that's going on, while Svitlongi is doing that, you guys toss the room. You find, other than, diagrams and blueprints of diabolical traps and machinations, you find a spell book open on the desk. who's getting that? Let's just do it one by so we.
I would be able to use it.
I think Airmay could use it, but can Copernicus use that as a warlock?
If there's warlock spells in it, I think
I
so.
actually think, honestly, I think only wizards can use it.
Oh, yeah, and I'm a sorcerer, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I actually think only wizards can use
Okay.
spell books.
Sorry, it'd be worth some money back in Nine Zaru.
Perhaps.
So on the back of the cover, you notice a name written, Komara Blackfire. And that's Khomara and Blackfire.
Is there any way to tell what school of magic these spells belong to?
Maybe a simple arcana check you might be able to recognize something like that.
Elf, you are familiar with the ways of magic. Do you know what school the spellbook serves?
You said Arcana?
An arcana check, if you're thumbing through the spell book.
I will assist you. Just looking for certain markings or even decorations. Like if it has skulls drawn on it. It's not going to be like
All right. I mean,
an abjuration.
It's a natty 19.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah. I mean, thumbing
plus whatever bonuses.
through it. There's no real specific school. It's an amalgamation of several different, if not every school. But with a 19, it's easy enough to see. You've got Detect Magic, Expeditious Retreat, Featherfall, Thunderwave, Darkness, Hold Person, Rope Trip, Dispel Magic, Lightning Bolt, Blight, Wall of Fire, and he was going to cast Blight on his next turn, too.
Oh, that's a good one.
That would have been a good one. 8d8
Yeah.
necrotic
I
damage.
think that's in Cappy's.
Half on a pass
I think
save.
I've got that loaded up
Cappy
too right
actually
now.
did something to help the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go,
Believe it or
Irme,
not.
That would have fucking took a chunk out of
time.
someone's max hit points.
Irme looking to Svitlongi just says,
Killed them.
it appears to just be a collection of spells from a range of areas, whatever suited whoever Blackfire is, whatever suited the purpose of down here, it appears.
It's worth mentioning the most powerful spell in it, the highest level spell is telekinesis. I think you would.
Now, the diabolical blueprints.
Good work, Elf.
Cappy's going through those. Is there anything in there about how to make oozes, slimes, jellies?
No, but you actually do notice a book. And you almost chuckle to yourself, I'd imagine, because the book...
It's Zavril's.
The Travels of a Dawn Tracker.
How to Slay Undead,
How
Volume
to
1.
track the dawn.
The Dawn Tracker versus Undead.
Is that his pop-up book?
Mrs. Dawn Tracker.
Whoa.
How do you
We'll
get
take that
this?
Up all night. Tracking the dawn.
You notice a book amidst those blueprints, and it's a manual of clay golems.
Yeah, all that Cappy's taken for himself. The diabolical blueprints.
Jeez.
The
Books are
manual
heavy.
for
It's called the Manual of
the
Clay
blueprints.
Golems.
I don't.
Oh, right.
imagine.
Right now. A couple scrolls.
Yeah, and a manual for clay golems.
Manual of Clay Golems.
We're going to have a posse of gladiators.
Valindra would find these quite fascinating. It might earn me some reputation with her.
So it would seem that Withers here was already aware of the flaw in his Tomb Guardians and was already working on a replacement.
The clay golems. I wonder
As
if
per
he
your
ever made
suggestion.
one.
People are distracted turning the room over. I think Svitlongi will want to make her way back over to the pool. Scrying pool.
Wait, what was that thing on Withers?
The skull amulet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that already.
What is it?
Are you talking out of game or?
Well, hey, Snake Woman, where are you going with that amulet?
Yeah.
What is it?
This amulet will help us use the pool to our advantage.
Should we be messing with such things? It seems unnecessarily dangerous.
You seem quite cautious for a wild mage.
Perhaps that is why I am so cautious.
It's probably that freaking Care Bear all wrapped up inside of you. He's doing the same thing to me.
Well, I've seen what happens when magic goes awry.
Irma, you notice at your feet another book. This one's a bit more tattered and beat up.
Irme will pick it up and blow the dust off the cover.
You thumb through it, and it appears to have journal entries scribbled. A lot of them are scribbled, maniacal. A lot of them are just smudged and waterlogged or water damaged. But you can make some of the passages out.
Is it a map? Just kidding.
That'd
Passages.
Be awesome. That would be awesome. I'll read what's legible aloud.
The first passage that is legible reads as such. Acererak seems pleased with my contraptions. Londuk fears the Lich and speaks of escape almost daily. If he wasn't among the most skilled stoneworkers, I would kill him myself to honor our savior. Yes, Londuk and the others all forget the bloody trials and the torturous games forced upon us by those imposter gods, whom have seduced us in our darkest hour. Perhaps they just need to be reminded of our salvation. And then, the next few are illegible. Probably the next 10 or 15 pages are all destroyed or damaged. You can't really make them out. The next one that you can make out. My flesh continues to decay. Have I been a disappointment? It must be the case, for my body dies, but my mind remains as sharp as ever. What curse would force a man to watch his own death through clear vision? Flipping through again. More damaged passages. You find another. I have been forced to realize the horrors I have caused unto others. Uptau was just to turn his back on us, and suffering the 9 gods was deserved. I have been made to see this now when I gaze upon my face in the water. One would think with no face, a man would not recognize himself. Master has proven otherwise. I now understand my plight more than ever before. Praise Master for such revelation. And there's one more.
That was an odd passage of kind of contradictory feelings.
Do we have any sense? Does she have any sense? I'm metagaming here. Does she have any sense between passages, like maybe how much time, not in an accurate way, but like, you know, if she flips 1 or 2 pages before she reaches the next legible thing, or is it like a quarter of the book?
Why don't you go ahead and give me an investigation check as you thumb through this tattered journal.
18.
That's a good roll.
Yeah, not a bad roll. So thumbing through, amongst the passages that are legible, there's really no way to tell the passage of time. However, with your investigation skills, you are able to notice in even the other passages that aren't quite legible certain dates, in at least for a while, and then the dates disappear. But you gather that this journal has probably spanned at least over the time of 50 years.
It appears he lost track of time in his later entries, but this journal has to be chronicling at least 50 years down here.
There's another, as you were doing that, you notice one of interest. It just has a little bit of a different tone to it. And it reads, "The Master returns with a marvelous gift, a cast-off creation of the gods, dead and yet not. The all-seeing is blind to its existence, and the mother of illusions looks past it. Sweet irony. The Master hopes to raise the creature to power by gluttoning it on souls. The Master has brought the Sown sisters here to nurse it, and to help build the device needed to feed it. As for me, I am only saddened that my studies shall one day come to an end. I owe the Master much for the time he has given me. I can only work harder in the little time that remains for this world."
The passage must speak of the soulmonger.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think Svitlongi's in the room. As soon as she saw the elf like shift her attention to the novel, she still answered her question, but Irame was distracted enough that she probably didn't hear it. But she simply said, like, Seth will watch over me. And she moved over toward the scrying pool. So whatever is discovered here in the journal, I just want to... that Svitlongi is not in the room.
Okay.
There are plenty of other legible passages, but given the circumstances, it could take days to thumb through all of these.
So after reading this, Irame is going to kind of center herself and try to... You'll see her, the group will see her get quiet as she tries to commune with
The
Obalaka.
dead.
You can just talk like it's another character in the party.
Oh, I guess for some reason, with the way I always envisioned it, is Irame kind of went to that space in her mind where she was taken over by it to talk to him, because I always think of her as meditating instead of sleeping at night and stuff like that. So that's why I always say it that way. But I guess, yeah, she would have to say it out loud.
Obalaka's a female too. It's hard to tell.
I always mess that up. So she will...
It's hard to tell because I chose like an Ursula type voice for her, you know, because she's a koala bear. And I don't think female animals have to sound like female humans. I don't know.
So Irame will ultimately run past the keywords of that last entry with Obalaka. So she will say, I believe I just read something on the Soulmonger, Obalaka.
I'm unfamiliar with such words, but that journal entry did pique my interest and also my curiosity, if I'm to be honest.
Were there a couple other key phrases in there I didn't know if you recognized? Perhaps the Sohn sisters?
The Sohn sisters could only be referred to as a devious group of old women.
3 of them, is there?
I am uncertain of how many there are, but I do know they are feared amongst their peers.
It's funny you went right to 3.
Whenever I think of the Sohn sisters, I think of the 3 sisters in Greek mythology that control
hags,
fate,
right?
and they do it.
Fates.
Yeah, the fates, and they do it like they're often portrayed as sewing
Yeah, like
the
in Dark
tapestry
Souls
of fate.
2. Dark Souls 2 intro, where you create your character.
And-
Yeah,
and-
the
and-
ancient
Yeah.
Greeks totally ripped off Dark Souls.
Yeah. Well, in a lot
I
of
agree.
in a lot of adaptations of the fates, they're shown sewing a tapestry of time,
Right,
essentially.
a weave of
So
sorts.
that's immediately what.
But they're not sewing sisters. They're sewn.
Yes. So it could be gross, but
It could be gross.
but that's immediately what it made Irame kind of.
Does Irame know much of Greek lore?
No.
Or-
No, I was only bringing it up because there's this idea that we have with the number 3, right?
Yes.
Like the number 3 resonates with people.
Yeah.
And when we look at this kind of thing, we see something like the Something Sisters. And I was also picturing
Hocus
3,
Pocus.
even though we've had no indication that there were 3 of
Yeah, the fates, Hocus Pocus. They always come in
them. Right,
threes.
right. Hags.
Yeah, hags are always in
The
threes.
hags are always in 3s.
The witches in Shakespeare are in threes.
Yeah, what about that movie with Bette Midler? What was that?
Hocus Pocus.
No, not that one.
Oh.
No, maybe it wasn't Bette Midler then. Jack Nicholson. Was there 3 women in that one? Never mind. Nobody here at the table knows what I'm talking
I just want to know what the fuck is up with that
The
mask.
Witches of Eastwick.
Ah, okay.
Obalaka continues. Although I must say I am a bit saddened at this tragic tale. There was something that you said that really struck me. It would appear myself included, but I place more blame on my peers. Perhaps we had pushed this mortal to his demise ultimately. Things were different in those days.
This mortal in particularly, or just through the fallout of what the 9 gods had done?
When Uptao turned his back on Omu, what we came upon was a city in desperation. A city that needed control. Myself and a few of my colleagues were trying to help them. But, like the mortals we were trying to protect, we were not perfect. We had forced them, in some degree, to build shrines in our honor. Not all of us were as cruel about it, but the Omuans appreciated the work that we had done. And over time, these shrines became forms of entertainment, you would say. Many Omuans felt tortured by these shrines. I cannot blame them. Surely Wongo has something more to say on the matter.
You want me to talk to Wongo? I don't actually hear Obalaka at this point.
No, you don't.
No.
No.
But do you know, does Irame know that Wongo is
Yes.
cohabitating the
Yes.
same body with
Yep.
And the mask, you rip it off, and it's a mask. It looks like a little chubby-cheeked, almost like a baby mask.
Wait, you're talking to
Copernicus. James had been asking about the mask, so I figured.
but I thought Zavril went for the mask.
Zavril did? Oh.
I did.
Copernicus was asking Zavril about
Oh,
the mask.
okay. Zavril, you peel the mask off, and yeah, it looks like a. Well, let me see what it's made out of at the very least. But
It's
yeah,
like a
cooler
cherub?
mask than a
it's
baby
a
mask.
it's a bronze mask.
It's a baby mask.
So is it like a cherub? You know how they have those
yeah, that would
kind
make
of...
sense.
I think so. I'm just going on the image of whether it's kind of cherubish, but it's also kind of demonic looking. It's got like chubby cheeks. Hold on, let me share the picture
cherubs
again.
are kind
Yeah,
of
you-
like angels.
Show us a picture of Withers
Demonic
before,
ones
but
could be fallen.
yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look like a fucking...
Yeah, what?
That looks like an old man mask that's like
Yeah.
frowning.
Well, babies and old people, you know.
Yeah. Maybe cheekbones. I wouldn't say chubby cheeks, but maybe cheekbones.
That's that black skull amulet. Ooh,
Oh,
shit,
yeah. That's what I'm sporting right now, baby.
Look at those teeth.
Is it made
Glowing
of gold?
red eyes,
Nom, nom, nom.
glowing green teeth.
Bronze. The mask
Oh,
is bronze.
It's a bronze mask.
Copernicus cares far less now.
Man, I remember when I first got my first bronze mask in EverQuest. I was all pumped up.
Right?
Does it have an armor class bonus or anything if you wear it?
No.
Just a
Technically-
mask.
Anybody have an
Look at that
identify? Where's Quincy?
Where is Quincy?
Where is Quincy?
Or even a detect magic at the very least. And that's all you really find in this room. Svidlangi, you're standing over by the pool with the black skull necklace.
Her right hand is clutching the amulet, and her left hand she's going to place on the stonework of the scrying pool. And she is going to mutter as she stares into the waters, knowing full well that she could only look for less than a minute. She's going to draw upon the skull amulet, and she is going to say, "Show me the crown, the black opal crown."
Checking to see if it's got to be attuned first.
Ah, fuck.
While
Well, even
need to
still,
take a rest, guys.
if it doesn't work, you know, she'll definitely like try to figure out why and then try again.
while
Yeah,
Svidlangi is messing with the pool, Irame will go to Copernicus.
Well, she's doing this while you guys are all doing your
Yeah.
thing, so it's all
Yeah.
happening simultaneously.
Irame will go to Copernicus and say, "Does the monkey on your back have anything to say about what I read aloud from Blackfire's journal?" I'm assuming Blackfire's journal, anyway.
Let me see that journal. And then Copernicus will read through it himself, and while he's reading through it, see if Wongo talks to him at all.
Yeah, he doesn't respond to just a passive reading.
Doesn't seem to be interested.
Address him directly. Show him who's boss, Copernicus.
Irme sounds like an old-fashioned school teacher.
Yeah, at that, Cappy slams the book shut and just hands it to you. Hands it back to you. Nobody tells me what to do. Fucking elf. But then, he's like, Wongo.
Yes, what is it?
What do you think of these passages in the book here?
The ravings of a madman.
Specifically the sisters. The Sown sisters.
Oh, the Sown sisters, I'd be careful of them.
How many are there?
I am uncertain of their numbers, but
I bet it's 3.
they don't originate in this world. They were brought here for a purpose.
Very interesting.
As mentioned in this journal. Now, why do you bother me?
Oh no, the elf was bothering me, so shit rolls downhill.
You consider me downhill?
I do.
I guess Cappy will wave him away.
So what are the classic 3C... What's the 3 C's shipping and freight looking for in this Tomb of Annihilation?
Treasure.
Well, we're looking for the cure to the death curse.
But what is that suspected to be? What you mentioned it earlier. The isn't there an artifact that we're looking for here? That you guys are looking for, not Svitlangi.
A specific artifact? No, I remember. off the top of my head.
Soulmonger.
The Soulmonger.
the
I don't believe.
Soulmonger.
I think that's an entity.
I thought the Soulmonger was Asarak, or the Lich.
Okay, so
It's
both
like a
of you
nickname
think the
for him.
Soulmonger is a person and not a thing. Zavril, what do you think?
I thought it was an artifact
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, that it was an artifact.
because it was created by somebody.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't necessarily rule out an entity.
Right,
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
probably right, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of
artifact.
course. He's probably right. I was the one that brought it up.
Fuck it, right? The Eye of Zoltek is another thing, another artifact that
Okay.
seems of interest.
Do you have a clear idea of what your goal is in the tomb? Or is it like partially exploration and trying to figure out what the goal is?
At this point, Irame's thinking
We're
defeating
going to destroy this thing.
defeating Asarak, and then from there addressing the Soulmonger, whether it be an entity or an artifact that needs to be destroyed or sent somewhere. Maybe it needs to be sent somewhere else. But
Okay, and it's been a little while since we've talked about the Soulmonger, so I'm a little curious why the party thinks the Soulmonger is connected to the Death Curse. Does anybody remember? Does anybody have any information on that?
I assumed it was because when somebody died, the souls were going to the Soulmonger instead of going to where they should go. So the Soulmonger itself is the Death Curse, because the Death Curse is essentially souls not going where they're supposed to go, I guess. Instead, they're being used to power the Soulmonger, or the Soulmonger is the power source for something else.
You know what? I have to bring it up now because this is the second time this has come to mind tonight. But talking about like souls going to other places and talking about false gods in the diary, he was talking about being misled by
The 9 gods.
right. It just I keep thinking about Dark Sun because Dark Sun has no gods, and souls when they die are stuck. They don't go into the other planes. Anyway,
Ooh.
just a cool little bit of lore for a classic D&D setting for
Yeah.
people out there. But Jay, have you been listening to our Soulmonger talk?
Yeah.
Is there anything you can clear up for us?
So that's why
without
I brought the journal entry up again on the screen because I think if you read it again, it touches on that.
Well, it does.
Especially the passage that says the master hopes to raise the creature to power by gluttoning it on souls.
Oh, so the Soulmonger could be both, right? It could be like it's a creature.
According to this
Well, it
passage,
is a
it's
creature.
It's
Yeah.
a creature.
not
Glut-
dead and not
gluttoning
alive.
it on souls.
However, the master has brought the Sown sisters here to nurse it and to help build the device needed to feed it.
Oh, so the Soulmonger. So there is a device and the soulmonger
So
feeds
it's
on
actually
souls,
both.
and the device.
So we were
and the
all right.
device, yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're all right.
Yeah.
We're all right.
All right. That's
So-
an interesting. That's an interesting.
Well, I keep
Yeah.
thinking of when Cappy had his vision when he first touched Day Nocturne too, and he was seeing the big maw just like chomping all the souls.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Oh,
like a
yeah.
creature.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
But what I gather from this passage is there is a device, a thing that is taking souls in, and then the soulmonger, or whichever one is the soulmonger, there is a creature that is like using the device to feed on the souls, and yet how do the Sohn sisters fit in? If they're nursing him, are they like controllers of this device?
they're nursing him and helping to build the device.
Oh, they're building. Yeah, so
So
maybe
the-
they're nursing him until the device is complete.
Yeah, and it's
Well, this is also a journal.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You know,
it's
how
also
long ago-
subjective. Right.
yes.
This could have been 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So it could be the Sohn sisters could be long gone. The device could be
Built.
in action.
Yeah, so essentially maybe the death curse, the curse was put into action to bring souls to the location where the soulmonger can feed on them, right?
And this thing is a cast-off creation of the gods.
Dead and yet not.
Now, who is the all-seeing and the mother of illusions?
yes, that was the other.
That's like slang for some other gods, I feel. Like, can we do some kind of check on that?
Svitlongi is the mother of illusions.
Can we do a religion check on that? Is there like a god that's his name? Like, we would know. Like,
Honestly, I don't even know what that is.
okay.
Okay.
Not yet. I haven't seen it yet. Hasn't come up in my prep.
Right. And maybe it could be like sometimes those things can be minor details on an NPC.
Yeah, I kind of, when I was looking through this and reading it, I kind of took it as entities that you haven't met yet.
Or it could
Ooh,
it could
interesting.
it could end up not being as important as we think as well. It could just be a testimony to how elusive the soulmonger is. Like the all-seeing could refer to anyone who's capable of sight, third eye sight
Right.
of any
the
kind.
most powerful god or
yeah,
whatever.
the most powerful of gods can't see it, and the mother of illusions, illusionists can't see it. Even people
Yeah.
who specialize in
I think
building
the
illusions.
mother of illusions is the self.
I would say just know.
Christy groaned. Copernicus is rubbing his the bridge of his
exhausted.
nose.
I would say take that part and just know that it's there, but put it aside for now. I think the main focus in this, up to this point, where what you guys would probably take with you currently, is pretty much everything else except for the last part, which is specific to withers. So the master returns with a marvelous gift, a cast-off creation of the gods, dead and yet not. And then, of course, the master hopes to raise the creature to power. We know who you guys know who the master is.
Asarak.
A Sararak.
I always say that wrong.
Sararak,
A Sararak. A Sararak.
Withers Withers named him. He named him as a Sararak, and then further in his journal referred to him as Master. So Master is a Sararak. You know that he enslaved the Omuans after he killed and after he murdered the 9 gods. He enslaved the Omuans. So now you have a little bit of a timeline.
And the Omuans probably being all the broken bits of bones and skulls being forced to build the tomb we see in the walls as we go.
Yes.
Now,
So, okay, go ahead.
I was going to ask about that, the thing on his chest again. Would we consider that a jewel?
It's an amulet. It does require attunement.
Okay. So at the moment when she's at the scrying pool, then she doesn't see what she wants.
No, you actually see the same thing you saw before.
Okay.
It's just a random...
Maybe view
Flesh
from a
ball.
guardian's eyes.
Exactly,
yeah.
a random one. It's not the same one as before.
And I'm assuming she would know. It doesn't seem far-fetched to think, oh, I might need to attune this.
No, it doesn't seem far-fetched at all. It is a very rare
Her
wondrous item.
Her impatience will be obvious on her facial expression as she kind of backs away from the scrying pool. And then she caresses the amulet a little bit, and she says, "Soon."
Yeah, as you're caressing it, you can't help but notice the design.
And she's not caressing it that long.
You notice it's carved from obsidian and shaped like a screaming humanoid skull with ruby eyes and emeralds for teeth.
Sweet.
It looks
Nice.
very expensive and fine crafted.
I want a faux one for in my living room.
Can't afford the real one.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. The kids would just break it.
I was thinking back on this. Only a jewel can tame the frog. Back from that long passage of
Oh, so you've been keeping an eye out for precious gems.
something.
Smart, Copernicus.
Yeah.
Of course,
Well, for
he
now,
does.
she will. There
gives me excuse.
was a way that the amulet was attached to the guy that we just fought. I don't know what we're calling him. Are we just calling him?
Just call him Withers.
Wizard?
we know the name now, right?
His spell book the spell book that was in his possession had the name Blackfire in it. So I kind of switched
But
to
Kamara, does he look like a Kamara?
I don't know.
Sounds like a
give me an
girl's name.
investigation.
I
check.
hate to be like leaning on gender
Yeah.
specific traditions, but
Well, the ending in a vowel thing is traditionally a
Kamara.
versus Kamaro. But
Yes,
then I
yeah.
might have too much of a Latin.
yeah.
like,
We're using a real world
bias.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's
So they have the writers.
It's also
Yes.
not unlikely that it could have belonged to a victim of the tomb
Right.
either. I mean,
That's why I
that
was saying,
spellbook could have been there before he ever showed up.
This is true.
if we've thoroughly tossed this room, let's move on.
Yeah, so Svitlangi will essentially try to attach the amulet in whatever way that it seems like, if it has certain straps or chains.
It does. It has 4 chains on each corner. It's kind of like a...
Will it fit over her breastplate?
Yes.
All right, so she's going to attach that while she's joining the rest of the party.
Where to next, Copernicus? You seem eager.
I want to look down the spiral staircase.
I do love a spiral staircase.
Looking down. You guys all move towards the spiral staircase.
Irame will be, right behind Copernicus.
I could see the drows wanting to go deeper undergrounds, but do you think you're ready, Elf, for what we might find below?
Are you talking to me?
I fear we have no choice, whether ready or not.
Svitlangi raises one eyebrow in amusement, but she also keeps her scimitar at the ready as she follows the party down.
I like your necklace, a little gaudy, wouldn't you say?
I do not wear it for fashionable reasons.
You don't wear anything for fashionable reasons.
When I don't wear anything, it is not for fashion. That is true.
Zinger.
But perhaps we can discuss that later.
All right, sharing.
My nipples are hard.
Well, I'm not uncomfortable with that. They're always hard.
All right, as you're moving down the spiral staircase, you come down maybe another 10, 15 feet, and there's another door to the south, and the stairs continue onward.
Is there light or is my dark vision kicking in?
It's dark vision. There are torches along the walls, but they're unlit.
I like how there's a map on the screen right now, and it's just a circle
Yeah.
of a spiral stairway.
I got a
know,
kick out
right?
of that
Like,
map as well.
Is there going to be an encounter halfway down this spiral stairs?
No, I don't want to fight in close quarters anymore.
Well, let's do a perception.
Yeah, and what's our marching order, actually, if we're moving
It's
down?
as of it stands now. It was Copernicus first, then Irame, and then you guys didn't mention.
Yeah.
I guess Svitlangi would probably be last. She was kind of coming in as everybody was deciding what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much just who's in the back and who's in front is all that really matters right now. They're coming downstairs.
Yeah, Cappy's at the front,
All right, Cappy, you see the door.
and it's shut.
It is shut.
I'll check the door out. Perception check. It's a natty 15, 16.
Stone door. You don't notice any traps or anything.
All right, we'll quietly open it.
Trying to imagine quietly quietly opening the stone door.
Yeah.
It does get with a grind of stone on stone.
I mean, what's that
And
little
dust.
gap at the bottom called
Oh,
of a door?
yeah.
Is there a word for that?
The gap at the bottom of the door.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Crack.
talking about.
Yeah.
But the crack is the technical word. I guarantee you there is a real word for
I
that.
actually just watched a YouTube video on cabinet building, and there is a name for it.
Yeah.
But I don't recall what it was because I didn't care.
Anyway.
We can derail anything, can't we?
Oh, yeah. Let's,
Fucking
you're just
opening a
eager.
door.
You're eager to get home.
Yes. Yes. Normally you're derailing with us.
Not this bad.
So the door opens. Dust falls to the ground.
All right, so how dark is it inside of there?
Dark and dusty.
Zavril
A
does
hu-
not have dark vision. Just trying to...
Zavril, if you need light.
A hulking figure wearing a bucket helm stands
Fuck.
to the west, with one hand on an iron lever set into the wall. The south wall is sloped and has a large rectangular window 5 feet wide by 7 feet high. The window looks into a hallway through a rectangular hole in the hallway floor, and farther down into a well-lit room shaped like a cylinder tipped on its side. Okay, so you can see through that, so let me open that up.
Weird.
Where's this?
I'm not sure
Yeah,
what to
where's-
make of the map.
Where's the
Where's
bucket
the bucket
guy?
head? Yeah.
You see the lever
There's
on the slanted part
Yep,
of the
so
wall?
to your
Okay.
right, there's a motionless hulking figure just standing absolutely still with his hand on a lever.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't see anything there.
It could be
Can you
triggered
put,
by a
what
trap.
about your mask, Zavril? Could you don
maybe
your
this'll help.
creepy mask that gives dark vision?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
No, I think
That's
he
why I
was
was
in
actually
game. I think he
asking
was in
how dark
character.
it was.
He's a man of many masks.
Zavril Dawn Masker.
And
Donner
then,
of masks.
Mask donner, more like it.
Right.
so he's not moving. Even when I open the door and everything, that statue, he's not statue, but the flesh golem's not moving.
Do not move too far forward, Trial.
No,
There could be a trap.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to react to your presence.
And can we see past him into that other room?
Yes.
Yeah, what's in there?
Yeah. That's that half. So through it's a little tricky to describe. So looking through the window, there's it's two-tiered. Okay, directly in front of the window is an elevated.
Kind of like a sink or a basin.
Yeah, it's
It's like elevated, like at countertop level.
yeah.
If that thing isn't moving, would Irame be able to look down into that narrow hallway there?
Hold steady, elf. Let us look for some kind of triggering mechanism.
Yeah, I wanted to look down there too, but I'm not walking in that room.
There could be something that would awaken the golem.
Yeah, so this golem, his hand is on the lever and he's facing the window. So he's looking through the window, his back to you guys.
So maybe conjecturing it could be something in the other room that triggers him, but maybe it's worth looking at
Or
this
he-
room first.
Throws the switch in the other room, like lights up in fire.
Right.
An incinerating room? Is that what you're thinking?
I like my theory better. But either way, we should do a perception check around here. Like, we don't know for certain either way.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
think before we start just messing about in this
Copernicus.
place.
Do a
na-
perception check.
Sorry, and the name of that southern room that he's looking down into is named the Revolving Drum.
So the room must have a curved ceiling and a curved floor.
Yeah. It's a
So it does.
composting room.
So yeah.
And
so
if he
the
pulls
switch
that
is gonna-
lever, based on the name of the room, if he pulls that lever, it
it'll
probably
revolve.
turns.
Maybe human remains run down that and then into that, and then they turn it,
Well, now you're just making shit.
and then they make and that's how they get the material for the flesh golems.
Yeah,
Like a
I
cement
mean,
mixer.
From here,
Yeah.
with, yeah. So from here, with him in your way, yeah, that's pretty much you guys. I guess focusing on the room right in front of you.
that we're in, yeah.
That
we're
you're in.
Looking into.
Yeah, because it'll be hard to really investigate that other room anyway, unless
Right,
you
right.
Or in it.
get a little further.
So is somebody going to do a perception check?
I
Who's
can do
good
a,
at
I can
finding-
do a perception check for traps if Copernicus would like to aid me.
Yeah, sure. Or just check the room out. See.
Well, we
Wow.
don't want to go into the room, so Irme is going
All
to
right, looking for-
look in the immediate square in front of her and get the best and try to get a look at the lever. So
We don't want to accidentally trigger the statue.
Yes.
Is what we're thinking.
ugh, sorry guys. That's a. I apologize.
You
That's
better
a
apologize
13.
after that roll.
Yeah, it is. It's a 13.
On perception.
Yeah.
I can picture Irme like apologizing. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't find anything.
Yeah, that's what I expect her to say too.
I apologize. Perhaps it's the darkness, but I'm having trouble seeing.
But you are an elf.
Yes, but in the dark I do see only dim. So there's a chance I could miss a trap.
Well, I imagine this golem can hear us. Like, we're all sitting right at the doorway. And it's
If
not
it is
reacting
active,
to us.
If it's active.
It didn't even
Right.
but it didn't. I imagine I can whisper to you guys if it didn't react to the stone door sliding open.
Right. Well, yeah,
Cappy, put that finger away.
Yeah, it hasn't
No, no.
reacted. And as far as your perception check, you don't see any. You don't no traps or anything or devices or secret
In this room.
in this room really stick out for you.
Okay, so we walk into this room. Irme does not find any traps. I think we would trust her, right? We would trust her. Does anybody have reason not to trust her assessment?
No.
Apart from her disclaimer that perhaps she could have missed something.
Right. So we come into the room and we're able to better get a look.
We mean we come
We
into the
can't.
room.
There's only a space for one person right there.
There are 3. You can move around her.
We could move
that.
around the golem.
I'm
You
staying
can fit at
right
least
in
3
front of the
people
door.
there.
I'm staying in the
Oh,
stairwell.
I thought.
I'm
so
thinking-
you're first.
Yeah, I was first.
Yeah.
And she was kind of like peeking around my shoulder, checking stuff out.
Okay, so guide us.
Copernicus thinks we should just head back up for now.
Not back.
Yeah,
Not further down.
From here, you really don't see any other way to go. Essentially, from this room,
I
unless
mean, the glass could be broken.
glass can be broken.
We could pull a lever from in here ourselves.
right. Without an action of sorts, there's no real way to go in this room.
All right, so put it to the group. Do we want to fuck with this room and risk having to fight this golem, or go up the stairs or down the stairs?
The stairs continue down?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I feel like Copernicus would want to go down.
Yeah, definitely.
Cappy
long
just
you
had
just-
his mind blown.
Yeah.
Just,
Svilongi just shrugs her shoulders and says, "This room does not interest me."
Let's just dial this back 15 minutes. Cappy creaks the door open, sees that shit, slowly shuts it.
It's just a closet, guys. Let's keep going.
Brooms and whatnot.
nothing to see in there.
I feel like there's something awesome
There is something cool there.
I don't know, that tumbler.
Not to look at right now. I agree, but
I can't help but think it's something to do with making the flesh golems.
I'm on board with that.
I know. And there's like purple shit on the map.
Yeah, the purple stuff on that's flesh in my mind.
All right. You
Moldy
Zavrel's
flesh?
favorite color.
yeah, you couldn't get close enough to really see that stuff on the ground, but it is worth noting that as you go down the stairs further now to level 4 or something.
What?
Oh.
Oh, we went down a level.
Yeah, that was
We're
level
not done
3.
with the other
right,
level.
right. No.
No, we can just run back up the stairs. We're not
This
scouting.
the stairway again continues down further, but on this level it opens up to a 5-foot wide passage, moving in about 10, 15, 25 feet or so to what apparently is a dead end.
I must say I'm rather uncomfortable with skipping floors, but the clue the ring is a path to another tomb does keep ringing in my head as we go down
Oh,
this
yes.
round staircase.
Because this is like a ring. Well, obviously, there's got to be a secret passage down here.
Obviously.
Cappy will check it out.
Well, Wongo says to you, Copernicus, he says,
It is well known that Sararak is quite the trickster, if I might say. His clues are there to help you, of course. But will those clues apply to this floor? I wonder.
and we'll see you next time
on the Natty 19 podcast. Renaming it to the Wongo podcast. And you will call me Master.